have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scholars of Wrestling. Tariq Awar here alongside Jeff Smith and Brian Ringwood. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, I want to suplex everything.
Hi, I want to play more WWE Supercard, now available to download on Google Play and the Apple Store.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
I wish I were getting
Take
paid
that
for this.
Take that iPad away. Put it away.
If I weren't using it for notes for this show, I would.
I see the hidden sign there.
I see
WWE.
the hidden.
You see the hidden temple? Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
The hidden temple that is WWE Supercard.
Look, it's open to the results right now.
Oh,
okay.
No, see?
But I see that tab.
it's there. We all see it.
To the .com. Yeah.
The .com. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
No, it's porn, I swear.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's better. That's
There
better.
we
I'll
go.
allow it. That's
Our
it.
fool is becoming a man.
Get to SummerSlam already, would you please?
All right. We're going to talk about SummerSlam, what we thought about each match separately. But first, let's sneak behind the curtain with a little backstage news, or in this case, one backstage news, with the sinking ship known as TNA losing another member, with Bully Ray slowly walking out the door.
Oh yeah, I heard. Granted, I have not been following this as closely as you might have, but the most I've heard is just he has expressed to some people that he's on his way out, and I really hadn't heard any much else beyond that.
The whole thing is, okay, his contract's up.
Yeah.
That's it. And he was like,
He's no interest in signing
I have
back.
no interest in
I don't
coming
blame
back. Now, here's the big thing for TNA, okay? This guy's been carrying the company on his back for the last
2 years.
2 years, ever since the Aces and Eights storyline. And before that, with the admittedly bad, but still Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan thing.
Love.
Okay, but now that he's gone, what are you going to do? It's the sinking ship that just keeps sinking week after week. They have their TV deals running out. They're losing all their top guys. I'm at the point. Put a fork in them. Done.
Yeah, the
Done.
writing's on the wall at this point. I think we've all known that for some time now. The question is, from all the reports I've read, I'm not sure if you guys have heard anything different, but it just seems like there was a lot of ambiguity regarding his current status, Bully Ray's current status, whether or not he's immediately going in like a matter of weeks or days, or if he's going to let his contract run out after a month, or do we know exactly when his contract
His
is
last date was last Friday, I believe.
Yeah, his contract's already done.
Show.
up? Okay.
Yeah,
It was a house show. His contract's done.
Mm.
He has no more obligations to fulfill for TNA.
Okay, then.
Now the question is, what will he do next?
And he's going out with Velvet Sky. Good for you, my good man.
Hey, as long as you're taking care of her kid and you're going for the whole package, not just the lady.
It's Bully Ray.
We know.
I think he can handle it.
Hey,
and he seems to
Bully
be a
Ray
really
being a
good
kid.
guy. I'm sure he's
Bully Ray.
fully capable of
Bully
taking
Ray
care
will
of him.
do it.
all right.
Both of them.
All right. Well, as far as his professional life, really, I see no reason why he just doesn't take Devon with him and go back to WWE. Maybe do one more last run, pull over couple more tag teams, and then ride off into the sunset with a big fat Legends contract.
Honestly, from what I read, WWE isn't interested in them. There's no interest in bringing those two back, even as trainers for the Performance Center, mainly due to all the budget cuts and just
maybe not right away, but when the time comes and they're looking to fill out the WWE Hall of Fame and make more appearances, the Dudleys will get signed again. I'm convinced of that. If not during the next couple months, then down the road, it has to happen.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
You just don't let
right
a
now,
big
this
team
doesn't
like
work.
that slip through the cracks entirely. Even if you don't have them as trainers or on-air talent or anything like that, it's the Dudleys. They're one of the most decorated tag teams in ever. You're good. If you're Bubba Ray or Devon, you're not going to be suffering in the wrestling industry for the rest of your lives.
Oh, no. Just like you said, not now, but soon.
Oh, yeah.
And really, that's all the backstage news. That's it from looking behind the curtain.
Yeah,
let's actually turn around towards the ring and check out SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was all about SummerSlam this week. Let's be real.
And it was a very, very good SummerSlam.
It's pretty much what I expected of all high quality wrestling from SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's been very good the last few years.
I agree on that one.
Like there's always been good wrestling. They finally figured out that the number 2 pay-per-view of the year should probably have good wrestling on it. There were some years where that was kind of not on their radar.
Probably during the time when WWE wasn't really that interesting to watch.
But I'd say the last 3 years.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Have been pretty good for WWE Summerslam was.
Absolutely.
And let's get right to it and talk about the surprise pre-show match that happened after we recorded last week. Like, that was officially announced after we recorded last week with RVD versus Cesaro. I think that match is a match that kind of deserves to be more on the card itself, but it's like we said before, it's the appetizer for SummerSlam.
I wasn't going to say the A word,
yeah,
but you beat me to it.
It was mild wings on a cool day.
It was very good.
Why do you have to mention wings? I don't want wings so badly right now. But anyway, getting back to the match so I can get my mind off my stomach for 2 seconds. This was a pretty good match. And as far as pre-show matches go, let's face it, when it comes to pre-show matches, we've run the gamut in the past before. It's
lower card, really, that fills the pre-show match.
Yeah, it's normally pre-show matches can be of dubious quality. This is the rare exception to that. I really, really wanted Cesaro to go over, especially when he had sort of the towel on his head. It seemed like he was seriousing up a little bit. But no, Van Dam wins. That's just disappointing on so many levels. What are they doing with Cesaro right now?
So, what would you give as a rating?
Oh.
Before any of us answer that question, because Brian's ready to jump that one. He's like holding it in. It's like
I'll slowly, give it a peach fuzz, I guess.
All right, now Brian.
This, in my opinion, was a match that you could see on a house show, and it would be nothing different from what you saw on this show, on this pre-show, which, in my opinion, is not a good appetizer for a pay-per-view. There was no reason for this match. There's most of the time there's like a pre-built story or some kind of build, even for a pre-show match. This, I think it was announced the day of that Rob Van Dam would face Cesaro.
I think it was announced Friday.
It was very brief.
It was very soon.
Wrong guy went over. Rob Van Dam is past his prime. Let's just put it out there right now.
Yeah, easily.
He doesn't need to be there anymore.
Still like Rob Van Dam, but he's not as fresh as he once was.
Yeah, Cesaro is one of the best performers in the company at this time, and you're having him lose in a 6-minute match on the pre-show of the second biggest pay-per-view of the year to Rob Van Dam, a guy in his 40s and past his prime. I don't know what they're doing with Cesaro, but it's getting beyond frustrating now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I can't give this match any higher than a Peach Fuzz.
Peach Fuzz goes to me, too. And it was a very generous Peach Fuzz, because it was a very good match. These two can go, but it's like what we've been saying, the wrong guy went over. It's a time when RVD should be putting guys over, like what he's been doing with Seth Rollins for the past couple of weeks. How their matches have always been awesome, yet it's always the same outcome with Seth Rollins getting that stomp for the win. But I don't know what it is. It's just annoying. It bubbles me up inside with frustration just how much they're not treating Cesaro and, for actual reasons, Damian Sandow as well. Those, other than those two, like, shouldn't be treated better. I really don't have any real problems with WWE stories right now, other than Stephanie and Brie. But that's for later. We'll get to that one. But other than that, there's really nothing in WWE that makes me upset, other than those two not getting pushed. And at least Cesaro got the win the next night on Raw against Swagger, and he's starting to show some winning streak. And the one real problem is they're not doing anything with him. He's being just filler for other stars who have storylines. He's just the guy who they know will put on a good match, but he's not going to win.
Right. At least, again, like you mentioned, on Raw, he did get a win on Jack Swagger. Again, until we saw that match, I was convinced, okay, he's got someone on someone's bad side for some reason, like we all did, I think. Excuse me. But still, I think he's in that holding pattern where I'm sure it is just like one of those cases where they say, creative has nothing for you, bloppity blue.
Yeah, he's just filler, yeah.
Not that he's filler. Not that he's filler. It's just that he's relegated to a more stagnant role just because creative can't come up with anything on their own. It
sucks that we can be more creative, and we have been more creative on the show than WWE creative with some of these superstars.
Well, then again, you just have with them, you just have a think tank that's just constantly producing ideas after ideas after ideas and just seeing what sticks. Again, thankfully, one good thing I can see out of this, again, like you said, there's not a lot that's horrible about the modern day WWE product. There's at least something decent you can find in any sort of subpar storyline or presentation or whatever. In this case, at least now we know that Cesaro isn't completely in the doghouse. He just seems to be in sort of a stagnant holding pattern until he finds his way into another storyline, angle, whatever you got. But as far as the match itself, it was a thing. It was a decent pre-show match. Again, not going to go in the A word, but still. For what it was, peach fuzz. Solid peach fuzz.
Solid peach fuzz. And with guys like RVD and Cesaro, we wish it was.
Peach fuzz solid.
That's it. It's like below solid.
Just below solid. Slowly turning into liquid.
If they were to keep...
Okay, this is going in a really weird direction right
okay.
now. Moving on.
The last thing I want to put on this before we move on is, if there is one thing I would want them to do with Cesaro, is just have him be the neutral guy. Not a face, not a heel, just the guy who they just put in matches to have with either faces or heels, because he's still popular with the crowd. They're trying to force the heel Cesaro on us so much with him like shoving people's heads, starting to get a little cocky, and that's what costs him the match. If they do want to continue with this whole neutral, like, we're in the gray area of good guys and bad guys in WWE, then have Cesaro be in that gray area where he doesn't have to be a heel, but he doesn't have to be the babyface either. He's just a guy who gets reactions from the crowd.
Again, that's, in my experience, that can be a really difficult thing to try and do. But again, I know what you're going at. And again, I think it's really, really early on as far as his post Paul Heyman run, I guess you could call it, that even then, he's just playing whatever role that his opponents are not at the time. And a good solid role for Cesaro is still waiting to be found.
It's just,
even when his overness is or not.
It's still just disappointing that the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is now pre-show material. A guy who's also main evented and
a guy they were building up as a Heyman guy.
Well, again, as far as the pre-show match, I really don't see that as like a big serious demotion at all. I mean, I just don't. It's a lot of times decent matches can be relegated to the pre-show just because they need something to put there. It's not like anything's being forced off the card or they're being demoted or anything like that. It's just, they're wrestlers. It's what they do.
I could be perfectly honest. Sorry to cut you off, but I think one thing that would have worked for the pre-show is throwing Sheamus in there for the United States Championship since he wasn't even on the card.
At least Cesaro was. That's another thing. At least he was on the card. At least he was constantly on TV in a high-profile position, where at least he's gotten a chance to be on the network, be on the pay-per-view for everyone who bought a ticket and is watching there live. This is not a bad thing. It may seem like a demotion in our eyes, in the casual fans' eyes, or any fans' eyes who are fans of Cesaro, but in the broad scheme of things, this is not that big of a demotion, if you can even call it a demotion at all. Again, like we mentioned with Swagger a couple times, doesn't matter where he is on the card, at least he got a paycheck. And I think we can all agree that Cesaro definitely deserves all the money he can make at this place.
Oh yeah, agreed. Where was Sheamus? And even the Usos, they didn't even defend their tag team champions at SummerSlam.
You know what? At least as far as Sheamus is concerned, I think it speaks volumes that I found myself not really caring at all.
But still, if they have a championship at their second biggest pay-per-view and just leaving 2 titles off the pay-per-view, I question that. Alright, now let's just go on to the pay-per-view itself. The opening match, the Intercontinental Championship with The Miz defending against Dolph Ziggler, and I was really shocked that they gave the title to Ziggler. I'm happy for it. I was just like, whoa, did not see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either, and for some reason, some fan reports I read online said, oh, it's so obvious that Ziggler was going to be winning the title again.
It really was obvious?
Again, not to me. I guess in hindsight, just because that he sort of got screwed out of the title and he's got a return match, and I guess in that sense it might have been obvious, but again, it wasn't to me. And again, maybe this scholar's just losing his sight or something, or maybe just had an off day. But then again, to my own defense, I really have not been paying too much attention to this. It just seemed, this feud, as much as I want to like both of these guys, a lot of this feud just seemed kind of cookie cutter to me. I mean, Giant Cage jokes aside, The Miz really was just being The Miz. Maybe he just needs to freshen himself up in my eyes. Maybe I need to see some more Dolph Ziggler promos on TV to get hyped up for him. I don't know. Either way, after the initial match, I just did not find myself really that keenly invested into this match. I was excited to see some wrestling, but the build was more than a little bit lackluster in my eyes.
Ryan, what do you think of this match?
I actually liked the build, and it was good. It was exactly what I said it was going to be, except with a different winner. It was a good 10-minute match about what the Intercontinental title normally gets on pay-per-view, and the matches are always good. Energy was high, as it should be in the curtain jerker, and the chemistry between the two of them is always good. Always has been, always will be. I'm surprised that they gave Ziggler the title, as most of us are, because a bunch of people, I think about, on the 4 down, I think it was about 80% picked The Miz to win the match, and as soon as he hit the finisher and Ziggler kicked out,
oh yeah, that was.
I was like, really going this route?
Okay, apparently they're going with the Ziggler win. I'll enjoy it. It's nice to see that the WWE is getting behind Ziggler again.
Oh
giving
yeah,
him a title, and that makes me happy. And this match gets a classic OT. It was good. It was a good opening match. It did its job, and onwards the show went.
What rating did you give it, Fool?
I didn't give it a rating yet. I'm gonna have to go with a let's see.
While you think about this, I'll give my rating. I'm actually going with Brian on this one. I'm actually going to give it a classic goatee too, because pretty much everything he just said, it was a really, really good match between these two guys who actually know each other very well. And as we all know, if you're good with the person personally, you trust them in the ring, and you know you're going to put on a great match. And it really was a great match, and I love that Ziggler won because we were all predicting it, and they decided to pull a fast one on us. I like when it's unpredictable like that. And Ziggler definitely does deserve it for all that he's done ever since he became Dolph Ziggler and not Nikki from the Spirit Squad.
Those. I actually a minor digression here. Apparently, the first team announced for this year's King of Trios at Chikara 2014. First team, Spirit Squad.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, God.
3 of the other members.
Oh.
But anyway, going back to the match.
Good to know. Nice throw in there.
Yeah, going back to the match proper, I really wasn't. Again, for whatever reason, I found myself not really caring as much about this match, or at least I wasn't really focused on the build, which really hurt it in my eyes. Maybe I just need to go back and watch the pay-per-view again, or at least this match, because I really didn't remember too much about it. I remember the finish, certainly. That seemed pretty good. It had unpredictability going for it. But otherwise, I just know from previous experience I've seen better stuff from these guys in the past. And I don't know, this could just be my own personal bias and just general disinterest with this whole feud. But I'm just going to give this a 2 out of 5, just a peach fuzz.
Okay. Well, one argument I say with their build is, I'm sorry, again with Brian on this one, I actually do like their build because even though WWE wasn't really building up the feud to its fullest potential, Miz and Ziggler were on social media. That's the one thing that helped them.
Yeah, but still,
like they were the ones really pushing this feud more than WWE did.
And very true, and at least they gave it the old college try, like the saying goes. But really, I don't know. So just something about this thing seemed missing. And when you have to base your entire feud on, or at least most of it, on a Twitter war, that to me just doesn't sit right.
The one thing that it needed, that is missing, that I actually do think what it is, it's WWE's interest. Because whenever their matches is going on, most of the time, like commentary is talking about something else that's going on around the show. Stephanie McMahon, Brie Bella, Brock Lesnar. That's always been my problem with commentary. They don't focus on the matches that are going on as they happen. They talk about stuff during the show, talk about other superstars, and really throw in, oh yeah, clothesline from Dolph Ziggler, back to what they were saying. That's always been my problem with today's commentating team. That's one thing that always worked with JR and the King, JR and Paul Heyman, pretty much JR. He was the play-by-play guy, and King was the color commentator of sometimes the face, sometimes the heel. With this commentating team nowadays, I don't know how it got to commentating team, it's two faces. It's two face characters versus one heel character with JBL. There is no play-by-play guy. They may say Michael Cole is, but no, he isn't. He's not the play-by-play guy. He's just another character.
He should be a play-by-play guy, but the problem is that right now you got Vince McMahon in the back feeding him lines. Oh, shill the WWE Network, shill this, shill that. He's in the play-by-play position, but that's not what he's doing.
Exactly.
At least not as It's being overshadowed by everything else that he's mandated by Vince McMahon and everyone else in the gorilla position to do.
So if they changed that around and made Michael Cole the play-by-play guy, and have just Jerry the King Lawler be the face color commentator and JBL be the heel commentator as what they're supposed to be, then they would put more interest on what's going on, and with what's going, like with, let's say, Ziggler and The Miz to keep this going, and just focus on what their storyline, not talk about everyone else's storyline, not the big ones.
Yeah, again, you're not really going to eliminate all of that totally.
Oh, I know.
If you're trying
it's
to build
stupid,
a serious match, a serious feud, rather, I do agree it sort of takes away from that. And
that's why I don't focus on the commentators and just focus on what the guys in the ring are doing.
Yeah, and as much as I try and focus on that, I got to admit, commentary when it's done right can add a lot. And whether or not you love it or hate it, not having that commentary does hurt it.
There you go.
By just omission.
I agree.
And maybe that could be a reason too why I just didn't find myself as heavily invested in this match as perhaps I should have been. Because again, these guys performed admirably. These guys did well for themselves, but for some reason I wasn't feeling it tonight.
Understandable.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll
moving
see where
on.
this goes.
Moving on to the next match is the Divas Championship between champion AJ Lee defending her title against Paige. They pull another swerve at us. Well, at least on me. I don't remember what you guys predicted.
I picked Paige to win.
I did not.
This was the first correct pick I had all night.
Oh, it was definitely not a good picking. At least the beginning of the show. The beginning of the show was just not my show. But this was the match that I was expecting at Battleground. I loved this match. This was a fun match between the two, and it definitely adds more character to Paige as another crazy chick versus AJ, the crazy chick. It works very well, and I love showed the power that Paige did getting out of. Why am I
that
blanking?
DDT though?
That DDT was sick. Wasn't it AJ's submission hold?
Black Widow.
Black Widow. I don't know why I blanked out on that one.
Big spiders.
How she broke out of the Black Widow and landing that awesome DDT. 1, 2, 3. That was.
Now this match.
This match was fun.
This is so much better. This was so much better than their match at Payback.
Was it Payback or was it
Battleground? Battleground.
Okay.
Oops.
You're confusing me, man.
See, it was that forgettable.
However,
I got it.
Okay, it was so much better, but it was 5 minutes long.
I actually didn't mind how long it was.
No, for me, okay. I can't give it more than a peach fuzz because of the time. It was great. It was enjoyable, but they didn't give it the time it deserved, and for me, that makes me a sad scholar. And I can't give a 5-minute match in my head, no matter how good it is, more than a peach fuzz.
Are you complaining that it was too short or that it was too long?
Too short.
Okay, just the way you're going, I'm like, wait a minute.
They should have given this. They should have given this the time that Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella got.
Well, we all know. I agree, but we all know why that wasn't the case.
We all know that's why that wasn't the case. But if 5-minute match, no matter how good it is on a pay-per-view, I have to give it a peach fuzz. Which is still higher than what I gave AJ and Paige at Battleground. Because I gave that a clean shave because that was bad.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a higher score. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, classic OT. Even though it was brief, it went at a very brisk pace. And I liked how it was paced out, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
It was pretty much, like I said, more in the direction that this feud needed to go. A more back and forth, very physical, generally better quality than most of the other stuff we see on the main WWE product as far as the Divas go these days. And it's basically what we expected out of AJ Lee and Paige. I'm glad Paige doesn't look like a punk anymore and actually got her belt back, and it's actually looking like a really good back and forth feud right now. And I'm digging it. 3 out of 5.
I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 classic OT as well. Because I agree with the Fool here. It may have been short, but they definitely left their mark. They
DDT though.
Yeah, that DDT. That DDT definitely was the definitive factor.
That's what she said after that, but okay, that works too.
That's your joke.
Okay, I'm on That's What She Said duty. I can do that.
No,
consider that for the rest of this episode. I'm on.
No, stop it.
Oh yes.
I don't even. You threw me off this one. None of that.
What's your rating?
Oh, I gave it a classic OT. I love this match, and I love that it continued. And it seems that they're kind of throwing Natalya in, not as a huge factor, but she's in the feud, facing Paige on Monday,
which is never a bad thing.
Is what. And she won by a roll up, and apparently that's what happened on SmackDown as well. How they had a rematch with Natalya, and she actually managed to make Paige submit. And it's just more AJ coming in, being distracting, and now it looks like it's just a 3-way mark with these 3 awesome divas, awesome women wrestlers. Because I think they deserve much more respectable title than divas than with female wrestlers.
They're changing it.
Are they?
No, what I mean.
Or are you just meaning?
What I mean by that is they're taking the title of diva, and they're like, it's women like these. So you get them inside the division, that they're changing what that word means. And
I hope so.
I'm not going to go into another digression about who they've got coming up in NXT. As soon as you call any of those people up, they're gonna change the Divas division, and they're gonna give it even more credibility with every person they call up. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
And that's all that needs to be said. 2 classic goatees, 1 peach fuzz. Moving on.
Some people are never satisfied.
Apparently not. Now let's go on to the flag match between Rusev and Swagger. Quite possibly the most interesting match because we didn't know what the rules of the flag match were. Well, now we... What are you celebrating about? Did you call that it was
you
a good...
both picked Swagger.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't see
because I didn't know what the rules were. If it actually was a pinfall submission rules, I would have picked Rusev on this one. I thought it was just grab the flag, you win. I thought this feud was going to continue on, but it looks like that's not even the case. And I like that even they didn't have Swagger tap out. Instead, he passed out, won by...
At least it made him save some face.
Exactly.
Little, but some.
Yeah,
I just wasn't expecting that.
And
bravo for your prediction.
I like the way the story played out through this match. That they were both playing injured, and Rusev couldn't really put on the camel clutch right the first time, which is why Swagger was able to get out of it and put on the ankle lock. And then the second time when he was able to lock it in, Swagger absolutely refused to tap out. He's like, if you're gonna get me, bitch, you're gonna do it right.
Seriously, the storytelling in this match was surprisingly good, even though I had high hopes for this match going in. This was exactly what I wanted it to be. Just a physical brawl between 2 big old hosses. And from storyline to in-ring work, everything delivered. I enjoyed it very much.
I enjoyed it very much too, and that's why I enjoyed this match so much. I'm actually gonna give it a full beard 4-star rating because it's like you said, those 2 told a story in the ring, and it was a very good story. I was following it book-wise, page by page, and I even liked that Rusev knocked out Zeb Coulter, and he was missing in action the next night on Raw, leaving Swagger alone to feel guilty. The fact that he lost it for America.
He lost America.
America.
Yeah, but really,
how dare you betray America? You lose for America.
You did my job. You did my job. Okay, but in all seriousness, I agree with you on the rating too. I gotta give this a full beard, which, considering I'm talking about a Jack Swagger match.
Who knew?
Yeah, really. I mean, wow.
I'm still not gonna go that far. You'll get a classic goatee out of
Captain
me.
Contrarian. What?
You'll get a classic goatee out of me.
What was it that you didn't like about it? Or that gave you that classic goatee rating?
It just... As much as the story was told, good. I just didn't think the actual wrestling was enough to get it up to a full beard for me. So... Classic goatee, still a good match. Better than what... With a flag match, okay, you would have been lucky if it got to a classic goatee.
Hell, for a flag match...
If there were actually flags in the corner like it's supposed to happen in a flag match, that's also part of why it gets a classic goatee, because I'm like, what the hell is this match? It's not a flag match. They did it wrong. So I'm like... Because that was in my head for most of the match, I was following along with the story perfectly well, and the wrestling was competent. But still, in the back of my head, the entire time was, what the hell is going on? What is this? This isn't a flag match.
It's called a wrestling match.
Yeah,
but they called it a flag match.
They called it a flag match, and that's wrong.
The modern era doesn't know what a flag match is.
Apparently, they don't know what a flag match is because the flags weren't even really involved in this feud.
Because the WWE doesn't know what they're booking, it gets knocked down a point for me.
It was a match, and flags were present. I guess it didn't hurt this match in my eyes.
Yeah,
Bottom
it's
line.
not. It's not like I'm giving it a peach fuzz because they said the wrong match. Okay, that's it.
This is
It's
very
still
weird.
it's still a classic OT. The wrestling was competent. It got about 9 minutes, which is pretty much all it needed to have before it started going down. Because once you get to 10 minutes in a Swagger Rusev match, it's got to start going downhill.
Well, we don't have to worry about.
But
it
we don't
going
have to worry
downhill.
about that. So, classic OT.
Now that they're separating these
A
two,
high classic OT.
the fact that they're
That's
separating these two now that Rusev is actually moving up the American ladder and facing a silver medal Olympian in Mark Henry.
This is how you really get Rusev over, by him taking out someone bigger and badder than him.
exactly.
That's it.
And that's definitely the story going on right here. And I am honestly loving it because I'm not sure about you, but I think we were all focused on, okay, if he stopped a real American and they're still going with this patriotism thing,
The next best
who
thing.
else?
But I really
who
don't-
else America can they bring out? But instead they didn't. They went for power versus power.
I
Well,
still don't think this thing with Swagger and Rusev is done. I think they'll go back to it at some point. I think they're going to have Coulter out for a while.
Probably.
And then when he comes back, he's going to be all like, America! Again.
Zeb
Go
Coulter's going to
after.
come back with Kurt Angle. Just watch.
Oh, I hope. I hope.
Now
I
that's a
really
real
doubt
American.
it since he's the... since he's... What is he? He's the...
Crippled?
No, he's on TNA still. He just took over MVP's role of what he was doing.
For now.
And Dixie Carter.
Even
They're not-
he's actually thinking of,
Yeah,
of
but
leaving
by the
when his
time
contract is
by
up.
the time Coulter comes out, you still got this 90 days deal with the TNA. So it's not. He's not coming back with Kurt Angle. It's
One can dream.
Stranger Things.
Captain
back.
Pessimism is here today.
And as things are moving forward for Rusev, things are actually starting to move backwards for Swagger. Now he's having this, I can't even say interesting, this one storyline with Bo Dallas after losing to Cesaro the next night on Raw.
Yeah, I'm not sure where this is
don't-
going either.
And it even continued on SmackDown, Swagger losing another match. I don't remember who, but once again, Bo Dallas comes out.
Once again, Swaggy
Same.
didn't believe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is he trying to recruit Swagger or
He's
just?
trying to make him believe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't care now.
Well, if anything, okay, just remember that 40-second squash where the Swagger just murdered Dallas on SmackDown right before SummerSlam. So I'm like, let's give Swagger some ups. Let's have him murder Bo Dallas a couple times, and then we'll move on.
If
'Cause-
that's the case.
Because let's be honest here, the news coming out. I don't know if this is rumor or anything like that, but Vince McMahon is done
That's what I've heard
with the Bo
too.
Dallas character. So maybe this is just like Jack Swagger gets back on his feet by just beating the crap out of Bo Dallas for a couple weeks.
But like you said, it's a rumor. They could do that, or they could just make a new tag team of believers.
And I just want Bo Dallas to get his ass beat for.
Oh, yeah, me too.
For
Look,
weeks at a
I
time.
read that same report too, and to me, that all that means is they just ceased his undefeated streak. It's not like Bo Dallas is just going to go away, or he's just going to stop doing his Bo Dallas thing. It's being Bo Dallas is all he can do, and at least it's still entertaining. It's just not super face material. Like they're not strapping a rocket to him in the same way they were before. He's still going to be around. He's still going to be wrestling matches. Whether or not he's putting any meaningful feuds in the relative near future, that remains to be seen.
And we'll hopefully see it in weeks to come, building up to Night of Champions.
If it's assuming it's any good, and we want to see it.
Exactly. And now moving on to a crazy match. That's all that I can really say about it is
Hey,
the lumberjack match.
Wait, what is this? Someone who left all these goats in here? I'm just surrounded by goat faces.
I see
what's
what
with all
you're
these
doing.
goats? Can someone help me get all these goats out of here? There's too many goat faces in this room. We need to get out of all the goats.
As the
Too
fourth...
many goats. Too many goats.
Okay.
Get out of here, man.
Well-
Oh, that was really
Is there
weird.
anything else that really can be said other than what you two just did?
I really don't have anything to add because he just blew it up. Yeah, goat face here.
Yeah,
This is okay. We were talking about these guys could probably pull off a great lumberjack match. They went above and beyond. Okay, I actually thought that Seth Rollins was gonna powerbomb Dean Ambrose off of that.
So good.
The only thing that I can say that was bad was now that I realize why Kane was out there because of what happened on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that, but at the time I was like, what the? You have 30 guys out there. Why the hell do you have to bring Kane down? And just those memes when him and Goldust hit each other. That was
that was
freaking
funny.
Glorious.
Those were funny.
Okay, but yeah, goat face all around. And I could have... It fits with the character that Seth Rollins would win with a briefcase shot to the head. But I would have liked, like, after the briefcase stomp, he then does the curb stomp to do it. But Dean Ambrose hit that curb stomp perfectly.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
But definitely, match of the night, goat face.
I'll tell you what. I know I may get criticized for my perpetual man crush on Dean Ambrose. If you can going forward legitimately, hey, Jeff, what's with your freaking man crush on Dean Ambrose? I will point to matches like this and say, there is your reason. Because normally, and that's another thing, normally I would hate an ending like this for a guy I really want to see succeed, but he just looks so strong in this match going up against Seth Rollins that even though it was sort of a heelish cheat victory for Seth Rollins, both guys came out of it shining like diamonds. It didn't even care. Same thing when we get into what happened on Raw this week. Same deal. Everyone looked great. Everyone looked strong. It was just stellar. It was nigh flawless. I loved it.
Oh, I loved
Goats everywhere.
I loved this match too. I'm also going to give it a goat face, but I'm actually going to have to give their match the next night a bigger goat face. As much as excuse me,
Lovecraftian goat face even.
Sure. We're bringing
Lovecraftian goat face.
We're bringing back the many goats. Bring them in.
Okay.
No, open that door and I will kill you. Not in my apartment.
Okay, I'll just
Leave it. Leave them outside.
I didn't want in the kitchen. Here.
Get him out.
His name is Billy. See?
Sit down, fool.
Yeah.
Sit.
Can Billy stay?
No.
Oh, but
He's gone. I ate him.
Billy, no!
But yeah, as much as I love this match, I actually like hearing you guys go. I love this match. I had so much fun with it. There was just one match I actually had more fun with, and that took my match of the night. And that's the next match, but once we get to that, I'll go more into it. This match was a load of fun. These two definitely were. They work perfect together. They work great as tag team partners. They work even better as enemies. It was just great storytelling, and they saved the next night to take Dean Ambrose off TV so he can film that movie. That answered our question from last week.
I know. As soon as I saw them reveal that
those cinder blocks,
quote unquote cinder blocks, I realized, oh wait, yeah, he's doing that movie. So
that's how he gets taken out.
Yeah.
And once again,
and he'll be back in time for Hell in a Cell, where they go all out in one more final battle.
That will be amazing.
That will be amazing. And I wish it was October already.
And just like a little aside, as far as a little side detail, when they went into the I'm not sure if they mentioned this on TV yet, but on the .com they talked about how he was
refused.
concussed and he refused medical attention.
And now he's MIA.
Yeah, and now he's MIA.
He ran away from the hospital and no one can find him.
Yeah. So
if you want to find him, look at a movie set.
Vegas at the time. So for all we know, he could. The best line I heard from fan speculation about this is that Dean Ambrose is now currently concussed walking the streets of Las Vegas mastering titties.
Yes!
You know what?
Like,
there you go.
That visual.
There you go. That's all that needs to be
Concussed
said.
Dean Ambrose.
You come here so I can master you.
Las Vegas showgirls don't mind if I do.
Sticking his tongue out.
See, it's just a visual of the adventures of concussed Dean Ambrose. The adventures of concussed Dean Ambrose. Put that on the WWE.com. Just get some random ass footage.
Do it like the Orton thing when he broke his clavicle back in the day. The Adventures of Dean Ambrose.
The adventures of concussed Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
Oh God.
Oh man. See, even fan speculation is super fun. I love this.
This
is wrestling.
This may have feud of the night for me, but match of the night goes on to our next match, which is Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho.
Another good strong one.
This one is another huge goat face for me. I loved everything that came from this match with Jericho, with Bray Wyatt. All of a sudden doing the spider crawl. You can't kill me, Chris. I'm already dead.
The look on Jericho's face finally sold how creepy that move is.
It was, like I said,
that one Jericho can.
I
loved it.
I was into this match every second of the way, landing a Sister Abigail on the barricade outside, similar to what he did with Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble, and then finishing it in the ring with another Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was such a good match. I had so much fun with this one. It's just a little bit over Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins lumberjack match for me, just by a little, as match of the night.
Hey, look. Hey, look.
Are the
look
goats
at-
coming back?
The goats are back.
The goats are coming
The goats
back.
are back.
Take the goats. I'm taking the goats and I'm throwing them out. You stop it. Stop at the goats. Stop at the
But the
goats.
goats-
Sit.
But
Stop at the
I love
goats.
Billy.
No goats.
Oh.
No pickles.
Oh, Billy!
Oh, Billy.
Oh, Billy! Pickles!
All
No.
two of you are going to get that. But yeah, in all seriousness, these were back-to-back great matches. I mean, you may have your favorite, but you know what? I disagree with your opinion, but I'm not going to say you're wrong either. This was exactly what it needed to be and what I was expecting. The one misadvantage it had for it is just it had a tough act to follow in Ambrose Rollins. But really, this really stood up on its own. It did the main thing I was really looking for this match to do. It made Bray Wyatt look like a terror again, which is exactly where he needs to be going forward in the future. And in its own right, it was a really, really good, entertaining match, like we've come to expect out of both these guys. Storytelling was great. The pace back and forth was great. Everything was very, very good. And again, I don't care. I'll bring in the goats again.
No.
But I need some
The
goat
goats
faces.
are already
Goat
here.
faces.
Goat
Stop
faces
it.
for everyone.
Goat faces for everyone.
Not quite match of the night, but
Still, it
goat
doesn't-
faces
it
for
didn't need to
everyone.
be. It did not need to be match of the night to be still as entertaining as it was.
And I'm
Oh.
almost certain, we're getting another one. So there you go.
Exactly.
I sure hope so.
The one thing, the reason for me why I chose it match of the night is because they did so much in the ring, and they didn't need a gimmick match to help with it. They did it by themselves. If Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, like if they had their match that was on Monday as their match at SummerSlam, that would have been match of the night. But the fact that they had to have all those lumberjacks to help tell their story, at least for that night, it hurt for me. It hurt it.
Okay, well, to me, that's the way it's being used is very different.
I'm not a huge fan of lumberjack matches.
Well, I don't think you're gonna find anyone who really is, because you don't really typically get a lot of mileage out of a lumberjack match. It is, like you described, a gimmick. However, at least in their case, again, I don't want to digress for too long, but in their case, because they've got so much history and this storyline has been going on for so long, way longer than Jericho Wyatt, to me, because it was so far along. You're welcome. Because it was so far along in their feud and the mutual story that they shared. To me, a specialty match between Rollins and Ambrose, that was acceptable in my eyes.
That's why That's why I said feud of the night took it for feud of the year is taking it to Ambrose and Rollins.
I know, but just to finish the thought real quick. As far as Bray Wyatt and Jericho, if they actually do one more match, if they actually end up doing one more match between the two, that would make a lot of sense because these two could easily do a big specialty match as a feud ender, which those type of matches typically tend to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a specialty match now that Rollins and Ambrose is put on the shelf for the time being, this could be the feud to have a big gimmick match to blow off the feud, just to put on your card for the next pay-per-view. If they're going to keep this going, this could be that match. What it could be, I don't know. But in the meantime, this feud is exactly where it needs to be. Compelling, back and forth between two titans of the ring. This is wrestling. This is wrestling, and I love it.
I 100% agree with you on the fact with Seth Rollins and Ambrose. They've had the longer feud. That's why I said they have feud of the year written all over it. I agree. They had the longer story. It's not. I wasn't looking at it just for their story, because if I got it from their story, they had it hands down, no contest.
Right.
I was just looking at it from their match at SummerSlam.
I'm just saying. I'm not. Actually, I am kind of disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, this could just be me. That factor going in did not hurt the match in my eyes. Like, it doesn't. If it happened with Jericho Wyatt, again, I don't want to digress on this for too long, but this is just my opinion. The feud that's been going on for not that long of a time, that is not the type of. That's not the time when you want to put Wyatt, Jericho in a specialty match, especially if they're going to go into another match, like we keep speculating that they will. Maybe they'll do it then, but for what this is, it didn't hurt it. In my opinion, anyway.
But yeah, nothing more I'll say. It was just my match of the night, just because storyline, hands down Rollins and Ambrose. But just particular match.
It's apples and oranges. You just can't compare the two all the time.
But like I said, if their match happened on Monday, happened at SummerSlam, that would have been a whole nother story. That would have taken the match of the night, because Ambrose and Rollins on Monday Night Raw was just perfect.
Jeez. At this rate, we can just spend the rest of our time just talking about Ambrose and Rollins.
Because they are really really are the feud of WWE right now, and it really sucks that they have
put on the shelf. But
it really sucks that they're put on the shelf.
We'll pick up the money train later on.
All right, now let's just quickly go by this one. Just saying,
talking about match of the night.
Oh,
jeez.
Anything but, with Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella, which I saw the ending. I saw coming since weeks ahead of time. We're in the New Jersey area. I saw it all the way. I saw it coming all the way from California. The ending of this.
I really gotta say this though. Okay, the match itself wasn't actually bad.
Oh, I agree.
It was actually pretty good.
It was weird.
However, okay, that ending. Okay, it was as soon as Nikki came out, it was like, all right, we're going with this then. That's it. And I gotta say, okay, I thought Brie was the worst. Okay, but we've actually found someone who is a worse actress than Brie Bella. Okay, and apparently it runs in the family because that promo on Monday.
Ow.
Oh. Why is Stephanie wasting her time with these two, other than the fact that they're the stars of Total Divas? That's it. If they didn't have that, then these two wouldn't even be in the same ring.
I think
Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, I think you just answered your own question.
Oh, I did, and I hate the answer. I hate Total Divas. I hate the Bellas. I don't care that they're married to Daniel Bryan and John Cena. They are the least entertaining thing that comes out of WWE, and yet they're still being put in the main event status, or they're in a main event status. They're the talk of WWE for most of the time, and I'm just sick of it.
I will. at least in recent memory. But I will say this: Stephanie looked really surprisingly solid in all respects.
She did.
Yeah, she really did. She looked like she came to play, and she. Look, I'm just comparing her to what we saw in the Attitude Era, quote unquote. Early 2000s. What we got out of that whole deal, McMahon Helmsley era, which that she was a non-entity back then. Now she's like a whole nother character. She's like a whole nother woman. Granted, she's not going to be and shouldn't be competing for the Divas title anytime soon, but still, for what we used to see out of her, that was a major league improvement. Again, like Brian said, this match was not disastrously bad, like I think a lot of us were thinking.
It was good.
I didn't think it was going to be bad. It just the storyline is just so uninteresting.
I can't even say that it was bad. It was good.
The match
until
was good.
the really crappy elbows that Nikki threw. That
You
was
gotta-
okay, and then Stephanie hit a really nice looking pedigree, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. Classic OT. I'm doing it. I did it. It's there. It's out.
You know
We're
what?
good.
on simple virtue of the fact that it didn't stink up the room like I was expecting it to, again, I'm gonna have to agree with you. 3 out of 5 classic OT. With this, again, some things were still very silly. Brie, you gotta stop screaming Brie mode just because you said on Total Divas that one time when you were drunk and in Vegas or something stupid. I don't care. You gotta stop. Just because you have something to scream does not mean you should. You should also look. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? I don't even know how I can appreciate it. This was the weirdest spot of the match when she did a running drop kick on Triple H and Triple H sold it. That was the most bizarre thing I think I've seen during the entire night. Just something seemed horribly incongruous about that. It's like Brie Bella, little Brie Bella, knocking down big bad I am the game Triple H, and you can't play me. Well, apparently Triple H was playing the game, and he sold for Brie Bella. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm verbalizing it right now. I still don't know what to make of this. At least, yeah, I know Triple H is a team player. He knows what's going on. He knows how cohesive the rest of the show needs to be. There's something so weird about the way this entire match just came together. And oh wow! Again, it wasn't disastrously horrible, but the fact that it worked ever on any conceivable level. Again, I know I'm going to catch some flack for this, but I'm even mildly interested in what they're going to do with the Bella Twins feud. Just the fact that it's something different. Again, they don't need to be going for the women's title. It's something else. I just don't know what to make of that something else at the current moment.
Something different? Sibling versus sibling is something different?
As far as the Divas title goes, we don't normally see siblings in the Divas division. I don't think ever. And besides, when was the last time we saw sibling versus sibling? Even in WWE standards, that's still relatively rare.
McMahon's. That's pretty much it.
The Hardys.
McMahon's, Hardys, and even then, the Harts.
The only problem this time, that I have with this is the wrestling's gonna be subpar, and the acting. My God, the acting. I can't.
Oh.
Even if you say it's something fresh and new, no, I can't.
Again, this is
That's
Optimus.
gonna be-
This is Optimus
that's gonna-
keeping it.
This is
kicking
Captain
in.
Optimus.
This is
being
gonna be
him,
the
being
part.
his best.
This is gonna be the part where I fast forward through each. I won't even talk. I can't talk about it on the show. I can't do it.
Okay.
I
And
can't.
no one's gonna blame you.
Okay, now it's my turn. I really, really hate to say this. I hate it. But when it comes to the match itself, I'm going to have to agree with both of you and give it a classic goatee. It was a good match between Stephanie. She's very good in the ring. She did very well. Brie Bella, because she's married to Daniel Bryan, they're both very good because they both were trained by very good athletes, Triple H and Daniel Bryan. I hate this storyline. I am anything but interested. And with you saying that whole thing with Triple H selling the Brie Bella dropkick outside outside area, I hated that. I am like, Triple H, don't give Brie Bella some kind of special main event superstar treatment that her little dropkick can push you all the way back to the entrance ramp. Oh my God!
He flipped it everything.
He oversold it. I honestly think he thought it was
Shawn
so.
Michaels,
Yes,
Hulk Hogan.
I was gonna say he must think this whole thing is so ridiculous. He had to pull a Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan bit.
That seriously might have been it.
It has to be, because if he's trying, he may have been a game player, but my God, this is such a stupid storyline. Even Daniel Bryan said that this whole thing is stupid. It's not an interesting storyline. The only thing I have to give to Nikki Bella is that slap on Monday. My God, that was one hell of a slap to Brie Bella. Bam! It made contact, and that's the only thing Brie Bella sold right.
And since we brought up Daniel Bryan for a second, we might as well bring this up. He now has to have Tommy John surgery. So it's going to be out for about
a few more months.
Tommy John surgery is pretty
big.
Yeah. So you're looking at like 6 months to a year of no Daniel Bryan.
That is just sad.
And what I'm trying to figure out, okay, is this apparently happened in the rehab portion. So what was he doing?
Or who?
Oh God, don't even get me started on this. This whole storyline is pathetic.
I know.
Stupid. It's the stupid form of soap opera television.
So guess what? We get this for 6 months to a year.
So for the storyline, I am giving this worse than a clean shaven. I hate it. All right, I don't want to talk about this match
Decapitated
anymore.
Head.
Yeah.
Decapitated head.
This gets a Marie Antoinette.
Oh my God,
Is that a thing? Are we making that a thing now?
No,
I am.
Make that a thing.
You can make
that a thing.
I'm going to give it a Marie Antoinette. There you go.
God, I hate this match. I hate this feud so much.
Okay, should we move on to something better?
We should probably move on to something better.
Please. All right. Match number 7. Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. We all called this one. No,
yes, but something went out of control last week.
It was a very good match, and now Jeff, you kind of have to go back to what you said last week. Reevaluate what you said last week.
I listened to my words from last week.
Oh yeah.
And I realized that my words were a little over the top, and yet were still a little bit unclear and unfocused at the same time.
I think I blame the rage in you.
So I need to just bear with me a moment. Let me reiterate. I do not hate Roman Reigns. What I do not like is the idea of what Roman Reigns seems to potentially be becoming, which is another bland babyface who just has a look when his in-ring talent has not really matched up with him yet. It's more of a marketing thing and how they're selling the on-screen character of Roman Reigns as opposed to what skills and ability he actually possesses. Again, not to digress too hard for too long, but when Roman Reigns was with the Shield, they played up to his strengths, they played up to the style that he does best. Recent memory, they tried to make him a little bit goofier. His delivery was off on a couple of his promos. Here, I'm not sure, as far as the SummerSlam match, I'm not sure if it's just because he was wrestling with Orton and he had a good dance partner that night, or if he's just finally learning his paces. This was a touch better to what Roman Reigns needed to be. Again, I know I talked a little bit before we went on, but on the .com, or the WWE Network rather, they actually just recently released the Shield's Road to SummerSlam, which it's almost like basically a
Daniel Bryan Road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's in that same vein, but it's basically a documentary for what we have going with the Shield right now. And it was very good. And it also highlighted a whole bunch of things with Roman Reigns in his past that honestly was not very blatantly clear on WWE programming. Like his real heavy football background, which, at least in his case, would add a little bit of freshness and relevance to his use of the spear. Like when I first saw the spear, again, when I started watching wrestling, it was in WCW when Bill Goldberg first debuted. Again, he was known as being a football guy, so in his case, the spear made sense. Again, same thing with Rhino. Rhino, big stocky guy. Of course, his name is Rhino, and he called it the Gore. You know, when you've got a neck and shoulders as thick as that, it makes sense for that to hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then it started going down the tubes. I'm sorry, I know a lot. I'm probably gonna.
Edge is a running hug. Okay,
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
I don't know what you were saying. I
Edge
agree.
has more of a taller, lankier build. It just didn't make as much sense.
And that's probably why his neck.
Yeah,
is
and
the way it is.
Batista, he's more of a power suplex, power bomb guy. It just didn't seem to have the same impact.
Looked more like a shoulder block than a spear.
Right, exactly. It just didn't look right. For someone like Roman Reigns, who's not only booked as a power guy, but you can also play up the fact that he's got this he's basically a college football star with a huge football background. It makes sense. Just like Brock Lesnar, everyone knows he's got that UFC amateur wrestling background. So his style makes sense for him. Roman Reigns, there's a lot to like there. It definitely is. And if this match worked for all parties involved. This match, even though he went over, I'm still very scared to what the future may lead for Roman Reigns as far as overbooking and over-pushing before he's really ready. As far as Roman Reigns is concerned, this was a definite step in the right direction. I enjoyed this match, even though I went on my whole big spiel. This match, I hate to say it, but this one was a guilty pleasure for me at the time. I've come around. When I get back, I'm probably going to want to watch this match again. But really, I got to give this a solid classic OT. 3 out of 5 stars. Hopefully, this means Roman is making his way back into my heart.
This, for me, was the litmus test for Roman Reigns. If you can't go with Randy Orton, then you have no business being anywhere near the main event. And for me, this proved that Roman Reigns does have the goods. He just needs more time to be fully prepared for a possibly rumored match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. This was a good start for the build-up for that, because he went with Randy Orton. First of all, that RKO though. That RKO was nuts.
Oh yeah,
goes up for the Superman punch.
We're like, nope.
Leans in just
enough to get it.
Just like for it to go flush. That was the best RKO I've seen in a while.
Oh yeah, it's again not just Roman Reigns. This match really highlighted how good when Randy Orton's spot on, he is spot on,
and he can make anybody else look like Roman Reigns is green as a singles competitor. Okay, he's green as grass, as he said.
I wouldn't say he's green as grass. That was a little bit of an overstatement.
But yeah, this was 16 minutes of just good old-fashioned rivalry match.
Randy Orton and Roman Reigns did exactly what they needed to do.
And I'll go full beard on this. I will do it full beard.
And you know what? You're not wrong. Randy Orton, of course, Roman Reigns showed improvement. He was in there with a great dance partner, played up to all of his strengths. And Randy Orton, I'll be honest, I know he's had some rocky spots over the past decade or so. Randy Orton showed in this match why he's in the spot that he is and why he's been consistently put in that spot. Pushed or over pushed, doesn't matter. He's earned his stripes at this point, and he showed exactly why that is at this match. And you know what? Even though I gave it a relatively low rating, you're not wrong with a 4 out of 5. You're not wrong at all.
None of you really are wrong with this one. They both show that they are capable of being put in main event matches. This is quite possibly the most natural flowing way to look at Roman Reigns. Before, they were pushing him like an unstoppable machine where it's just kind of annoying to have him on TV. The one real thing about Roman Reigns to me is his weak link is his mic skills. I really don't have any problem with him in the ring. He still needs a few things to work on, very small things to work on. But when it comes to his mic skills, mainly after promos where he has to talk more than just a few sentences, he puts so much emphasis in the wrong words, and it just
Too much emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Exactly. Short. If he kept his thing short and simple and worked on his character, then he would be a much more main event star looking guy.
I'll tell you what, this is where you really are going to want to check out the Shield documentary on the network if you can, because when Roman Reigns talks, you really get a sense of why he worked as a part of the Shield in the first place and what really needs to change as far as his promo style. It's a real subtle idiosyncrasies. After watching some of his recent promo work and what he did with the Shield, the differences are very subtle. I'm sure someone else would be able to pick them out better than I could. But things like timing of when to say certain things, not just what you say, but how you say it. Again, you don't want to go too far into the John Cena kiss babies, too happy all the time. That does not work for someone with the demeanor of Roman Reigns. It's not what brought him to the dance. It's not what got him over. And it's not what keeps him over. If you watch that documentary, it gives you the perfect idea of what he got over in the first place and what he needs to be to stay in the main event if they're going to keep him there.
Well, for me, as much as I think he actually is qualified to be a main event star, I think the more complete packages of the Shield are Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
There's no question.
There's no question on that one.
No question.
But it's just mainly just from looks and all that. That's what WWE is looking for. But it's nothing against Roman Reigns. He's very good. He showed it in this match with Orton.
He will get there.
He will get there, exactly.
Yeah.
So as much as it comes to the match, I'm also going to give this one a full beard. It was a very entertaining match, and it very well showed how good both of these guys are and how they are kind of deserving in the spots where they are right now.
Just please, for the love of everything, for the love of wrestling, keep up the pace, Roman. There's good stuff there. Please just stick. You're good now. Remain good.
Exactly.
That's all I ask.
And that's all that needs to be said.
And now, for the most glorious beatdown of all time.
It is hands down the most
Suplex
dominant.
City, please.
What I think you said it more, Brian. Just a beatdown.
John Cena got 3 moves. The entire match. 3 moves.
Brock Lesnar versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I can't even call this a match. It's just
welcome to the
this
jungle,
was a
baby. You're gonna die.
beatdown.
It's what more else can we say other than what a great way to show dominance for Brock Lesnar. This shows why he's the guy who they chose him as the guy who conquered the streak.
Boss Lesnar.
Boss Lesnar and
Beast Lesnar. This just proved the name. Okay, this beast went out there within a minute, hit an F5. And
it was within 30 seconds.
And when John Cena kicked out, he was just like, "Oh, okay,
Okay,
that happened."
It's like
suplex. 16 suplexes later.
STF. No, I'm just kidding. I'm okay. Beatdown.
And also that Undertaker sit up and the tongue out, just like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
As soon as Brock Lesnar did that, you're just like,
Brock.
It's just like, dude, I am toying with you. You are nothing to me. Your punches
puts him into
nothing.
STF, and you can see, okay. He's playing around for a little bit. He's like, and then all of a sudden you just...
I'm just kidding. It's like, just kidding. I'll beat you down now.
MMA punches. Picks him up in the F5. It's over. Everybody on this panel, I believe, is happy.
And everyone in the Staples Center was happy.
I'll keep this short. I'll keep this sweet. Storyline, goat face. Match itself... It was suplexes. I'll give the match itself a classic OT. Put them both together, and this match gets a full beard for me. This was just gloriousness all around. And there was a part, okay, when Brock Lesnar started to get too cocky. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. This is when John Cena does his 5 moves of doom and wins. And when it didn't happen, I was the most elated I have ever been at the end of a main event. I was actually more elated than when Daniel Bryan won the title at WrestleMania. I was like, you cannot have Brock Lesnar lose here. No. This is more important. Okay, I'm sorry to all the Daniel Bryan fans, but this is more important than Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania. The dude who you had beat the streak cannot lose the match afterwards, and to show dominance the way he did, love it. Done.
Okay, I got a slight addendum to what you just said. I do not agree that this surpasses Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania.
No, of course you.
I will say, however, that is definitely on par with it. But we are looking at right here, right now, is 2 separate phenomena. With Daniel Bryan, what we were looking to see was, will they give the strap to a guy who will open the doors for future talent? Will we get the future indie wrestling stars of tomorrow in NXT? Which, of course, they are. For the Brock Lesnar match, what we're seeing with here is this is basically setting the stage to this. It's opening the doorway for a future main eventer. Whether it's whoever, because right now the question is, who can beat this unstoppable boss monster in WWE of Brock Lesnar? Because that's basically what he is. That's the role he's playing right now. It's pretty obvious. It could be any number of guys. It could be rapidly rising Roman Reigns. Maybe it'll be good by then. Maybe it could be a returning Daniel Bryan from injury. Maybe it could be another big guy like Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose. Who knows? The last match that you described was paving the way for the future. This is more setting the stage for the present. And the match itself was absolutely incredible. I loved it.
I loved it too, but I'm sorry, fool. I'm going to have to side with Bryan on this one. I actually do think this may take it's like one step further to Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania. As much as I love Daniel Bryan and how much I loved how his storyline from SummerSlam to WrestleMania came, this one was just it took a whole nother level because they're bigger names.
My whole thing, okay, it's nice that Daniel Bryan gets the underdog at it. He finally beats the big dogs. Okay, but this was Superman getting
owned by Doomsday.
Getting owned by Doomsday. This is Superman being killed by Kryptonite.
Exactly. This is it's something completely different.
Yeah, it's different. And for me, yes, I was happy when Daniel Bryan overcame all odds. But the fact that this beast could come in and just take out John Cena and never even break a sweat.
Like that, really. That's not true. He was a sweaty mess.
I mean, like
with great ease.
There you go. Took him out. I was elated. I might have been. Don't quote me on this, but I might have been jumping up and down.
Oh,
Ref can't see it, ref can't call it.
But I can't give it any more than a full beard because it was just suplex after suplex after suplex after suplex, and at some point every time we got him up, I was just like, okay, here comes another suplex. So you could call it, and I was like, that's fine, but solid full beard on the cusp of the goats coming into the room, but
they're already in the bar.
So good.
They're done.
So good.
I'll tell you what.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, WWE, if you screw this up at Night of Champions, done.
Yeah, I'll tell you
don't
what.
screw this up, Night of Champions.
This was such a weird execution to a match like this, or at least a really unusual one, that this was really the only context where you can get away with a match type like this, or an execution like this, and knock it out of the park completely. This is yet another instance tonight where this is exactly what it needed to be, and it was wonderful. So, yeah, I concur your rating of a full beard, 4 out of 5. This was glorious.
Alright, so what do you guys give on the whole show?
I'll tell you what.
Final ratings, gentlemen?
I'll tell you what. I don't give this out very willingly for pay-per-views lately, but if any pay-per-view deserves this rating, it's definitely this one. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 goat face. There was just way, way too much to like on this entire card, and even just the things that were just done really, really well. It was staggering. And as a matter of fact, just talking about it with you guys makes me want to go back on the network and just watch the entire pay-per-view again.
I'm not going to go goat face. I'll go full beard because AJ and Paige got too little time. Okay, it was good for what it was, but it got too little time. Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella got too much time, even though it overperformed what it had any right to be. It overperformed, but Swagger, Rusev, I gave a classic. With the amount of classic OTs and peach fuzzes I can't give the show a goat face, but I feel fully justified in giving the show full beard. It's one of the top 2 pay-per-views of the year, as it should be, side by side with WrestleMania, as it should be. So, full beard, let's keep it up.
I'm going to have to give it a full beard as well, because pretty much it helps match up with the goat faces and the classic goatees, full beards, etc. As much good stuff there were also some negative things that helped brought it down, from the whole overselling of Brie Bella and Stephanie to the confusion of the whole flag match in general with Rusev and Swagger, and just this may not count for the whole show for you guys, but it still counts for me because it's still that night. Cesaro. The pre-show match with Cesaro and RVD. Mm-hmm. Just wrong guy won that one, but it is a very high, almost borderline goat face, but it's still on the level of full beard. I can't wait to see where they're going to go as we head towards Night of Champions. I'm excited. This rematch, I wonder if the rematch will just be a repeat of SummerSlam. That would just be hilarious.
It better be at this rate. It needs to be. Because if there's no way they can top
maybe
this.
Maybe have John Cena come out with a little flurry, like this time. Have him come out, give him 2 minutes instead of 30 seconds before getting the total beatdown.
That would work.
Give him 2 minutes, but still get the total beatdown.
That would work. Okay, I can't do the typical power John Cena thing against another huge power guy freak of nature. Whoever faces Brock Lesnar after that, it will be absolutely 100% crystal clear that, okay, just using the typical power stuff isn't going to work on someone like Brock Lesnar. Someone with a different style or a different skill set needs to engage Brock Lesnar if they have any shot at beating him.
Well said, fool. And now, I think it's simple to say we'll end tonight.
Yeah,
there was a lot to talk about.
Did we do 4 down?
I didn't.
I think we all forgot about
No.
Ford.
No,
I
you're
did
the
it.
only one, so
I did it.
it doesn't count.
Winner!
Default.
I take it back.
It doesn't count.
I had too many misfires anyway that entire night. I would have lost anyway.
I did pretty good after the first 2 matches.
I did pretty
good.
well after the first 4 matches. After this Seth Rollins match, I'm just like, okay, the rest is more. I got everything right.
Because I got Rollins too. Oh, yeah.
But now we want to know what you all thought. What did you all think of Survivor Series? What did you all think of
Too many
SummerSlam?
S's.
What did you all think of SummerSlam? Did you enjoy it as much as we did? Were there things that you didn't like? Were there things you wish happened that did not happen? We want to know. Post a comment down on this video, and if you like this video, go ahead and like it. That's what it's there for.
And subscribe.
Subscribe to our channel. Go over to our Facebook page. Like us there. Follow us on Twitter. Nothing more else to say, really, other
We are
than
not Zack Ryder.
we are not Zack
We
Ryder.
are not Zack Ryder.
No.
But what are we?
We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
I gotta put the goats in the barn.
I need to go watch SummerSlam again.
That's what I'm doing.